It's like déjà vu happening all over again as the Speaker of the 36th Guam Legislature Therese Terlaje is gearing up to meet with the judiciary for a second time on public corruption allegations.
The judiciary is acting as law enforcement in this matter, and the marshals were acting as law enforcement, and in that capacity, absolutely yes. I think they should be subject to oversight.
In district court, there have been allegations of warrants vacated, drug defendants given clean slates, all in exchange for monetary bribes. We first heard these accusations during former Joint Mayor Jesse Bloss's federal extortion case, and now it returns in the spotlight in federal drug defendant Mark Mayo's trial. Speaker Terlaje held an oversight hearing with the judiciary following Bloss's arraignment that occurred back in September 2019.
At the time, of course, the Chief Justice had assured me that they had spoken with the FBI and that there was no one there under investigation and that they had completed their own internal investigation. I think the conclusion was that either, FBI was not pursuing anything there at the judiciary because none of the people involved were still there, or I don't know the reason.
Bloss was sentenced last month on extortion charges for permitting drug trade through village mailboxes. He has a long history as a public servant in local law enforcement. Prior to becoming the mayor, he was Superior Court Marshal and a police officer. As stated in court, it was the drug ringleader Lovelia Mendoza's connection to Bloss that allowed the wiping of Mayo's warrants. Another individual named in both district court cases was Joey Terlaje, who is a former Department of Corrections deputy director. However, he resigned a day after Bloss's arraignment. He was also a marshal at the Superior Court of Guam.
Our oversight, I wanted to make sure that even if they had found nothing at that time, that these types of allegations could actually not occur, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we found was that the more discretion that is given to individual marshals, for example, as to which warrants they would pursue that day or would execute that day, that maybe that was a place where they could, just tighten their procedures on so that less discretion or more checks and balances.
According to Speaker Terlaje, the judiciary assured the legislature they would review their procedures and make necessary changes. Although another matter for review and catching the eye of the legislature are the honorable justices.
Some of these allegations make it sound like it's the judges that are in on it, right? That it's the judges that are vacating warrants because only judges can vacate warrants, not marshals.
During the playback recording brought into evidence from the FBI interrogation on Mayo, the federal authorities pressed the defendant on further allegations, questioning which dirty customs, probation, police officers, and marshals he knew. While no names were said, the legislature is keeping a close eye on the ports, which have recently been under scrutiny. Speaker Terlaje notes that yesterday's oversight hearing with the Guam Customs and Quarantine raised similar red flags.
Customs reported zero interception of drugs at the port in the last 5 years. Zero. And so what's your conclusion from that, right? Something is wrong. It's either there are no drugs coming in through the port, or they're just not reported, or they're just not looking.
Speaker Terlaje is scheduled to meet with Chief Justice Philip Carbolito on Friday, February 12th. The judiciary has since responded to KUAM's inquiry for an interview regarding the allegations with, quote, to ensure the protection of the constitutional rights of those accused and preserve the integrity of our justice system and process. The judiciary of Guam is not able and will not comment on ongoing or pending matters before the courts, unquote.